Welcome to 99th Monkey Liberty News for Wednesday, April 23rd, 2014. I have not really had this on my radar. Of course, I know it's on the back burner, but Alex Jones this was front and center for him today. From Infowars.com, Lavrov, Russia will respond if eastern Ukraine is attacked. And I did see that I think it's 600 troops have been sent to Eastern Europe in the last few days. I think they're on a battleship or something. As I said, I've kind of had this on the back burner, pretty much based on Fulford and others and that kind of level of intelligence saying that nothing will come of this because the Pentagon is not willing to fight and the Russian military is not willing to fight because they're not stupid. They don't want World War III. They want futures for their families. But certainly this merits keeping an eye on and is a subject for prayer, I'm sure. And just peace be still in Jesus' name. Just, Lord, we ask for no war in Eastern Europe. Considering matters of state, this article is at a website called capitalcityproject.com. State Department can't name one accomplishment from a Clinton-run initiative. In other words, Hillary was not very effective at the State Department. I guess we sort of knew that, but it's helpful to have that framed out a little bit in black and white. From CNN, delinquent IRS employees paid bonuses by the agency. Delinquent, yeah, that means they were delinquent in paying their taxes. So, if you're delinquent enough, we'll come and take money out your bank account. But when their employees are delinquent, they get a bonus. Wow. This is on YouTube, an RT video, how Pat Tillman was used to promote the war that killed him. And evidently yesterday was the anniversary of the death of Pat Tillman. And Abby Martin commemorated that anniversary by just reseeing what happened to Pat Tillman. Very, very, probably one of the most shameful things that the evil cabal masquerading as the U.S. government has ever done. This issue has been around for some time, but I just became aware of it through an email that I received from a local Tea Party. And a group is going to Sacramento on the 24th, which is tomorrow, to protest this CARB, California Air something. I'll have more information on CARB in the next frame. But this organization is Truckers Against CARB, and evidently they are levying a lot of penalties on trucks for if trucks don't meet certain air quality standards. The air quality has mostly to do not with the kind of pollutants that you might be concerned about, but the CO2 emissions. So it's aptly named CARB. And this website from the truckers, what CARB is doing to California's economy. And there are some videos here that are loading extremely slowly. So I will move on from there and just go into a little bit more of what CARB is. This is from a trucker's website called overdriveonline.com. Road rumors were the talk of the summer, and this is last summer. On call-in shows, the CB, and social media, truckers debated the likelihood of a further delay in the California Air Resources Board's powertrain upgrade compliance requirements for small fleets and owner-operators. Owner-operators and fleets with 3 and fewer trucks registered with CARB had been granted a reprieve from compliance with rules to date requiring upgrades of trucks with 1996 to 2004 model year engines. That extension runs out at the end of the year, and 2005-06 engines now come into CARB's upgrade mix. So this is a tremendous burden for small truckers, independent businessmen, and it really, these kinds of things, you know, the people look at these, I mean, I'm sure somebody has good intentions, but of course the overall plan is aware of the evil that this will perpetrate on a broad spectrum of people. This is another matter that is going to raise food prices and further challenge our ability to get foods. And this is happening in California, but you know California is the testing ground for these kinds of things. So if you're around Northern California area and you're interested in learning more about this specific protest that's taking place in Sacramento tomorrow, you can leave a comment and I will send you the information. But I just wanted to make us all aware of this. You know, we talk about Agenda 21. We talk about carbon taxes and things of that nature. This is where one of these tentacles is reaching right into the lives of many, many people. The truckers, certainly, the small business truckers, the owner-operators. I mean, what's more American? They're kind of like modern-day cowboys. Of course, we still have cowboys, as the Bundys prove. But, you know, these are some of the independent men who are just out there getting it done for the rest of us and for their families. And they are in the sights of the carbon people. And the carbon people, of course, are just stirring up trouble everywhere and trying to make us afraid that a gas that actually supports life is threatening to life. Hello, read some science books, please. My NYPD Twitter call-out backfires for New York Police Department. If you spend any time on Twitter, you are already had some very amusing tweets yesterday about this. And what happened was that, you know, the NYPD Police Department, the NYPD wanted to do a PR program, so they were going to use Twitter. And they asked people to post images, and they were hoping for some, you know, policemen helping children, getting cats out of trees. I don't know what. But what they got was a host of photos and videos that were posted by people who had problem issues with the NYPD, not positive experiences, but negative experiences with the NYPD. And here is one example from We Are Change, amazing serial killer survival story. Not flattering to the NYPD. And of course there were many, many more. From Blacklisted News, the core of Common Core is consumerism. Apparently Common Core is more than just really confusing math families, and worse. Seems that one of the other cores to the curriculum is consumerism. And that's a report from the Daily Mail. The use of well-known brand names in school tests has led to accusations that education boards are making product placement deals. Great. Another way in which we're being sold out. From CBS Atlanta study, antibiotic-resistant MRSA superbug found in U.S. homes. It has been an issue in hospitals for some time. I'm really not surprised by this. There are a lot of natural ways to address MRSA. Colloidal silver actually works remarkably well. That's not medical advice. That is experience that I have had personally. And there are other ways to address MRSA, and you can find a lot of articles on Natural News. There's, grapefruit seed extract, there's garlic, and I'm not speaking as much internally, as just a skin lesion, but I'm sure there are natural ways to address other ways that MRSA is expressed too. But certainly, if you have a MRSA skin infection, again, there's probably a lot of good advice on Natural News. And this comes, of course, these kinds of superbugs are spread and are developed really through the overuse of antibiotics. And of course, antibiotics are used in raising cattle, and they're used in meat, the whole meat industry. Unless you get organic meat, the animals are injected with antibiotics, and we take in a lot more antibiotics than we're aware of, and we really need to intentionally focus on our immune systems being healthy and using natural alternatives whenever we possibly can. From IntelliHub, Christian-Zionists problem, Khazar DNA. And this article explains some of the background. It seems, I often avoid these kind of articles because they're written from a very obviously emotional point of view, and they're not that well reasoned, and usually oftentimes somebody is just trying to breed hatred, fear, whatever. But this article, as I said, well reasoned, and if you're interested in this issue, if you're interested in learning some background, this is a good place to do it, this article. And I found this on Facebook. I thought it was helpful. Food cravings. You're craving what you need, what to eat instead. And you've probably seen charts like this before. You're craving chocolate. Hey, what you need is chocolate, so eat chocolate. Chocolate is very good for you, but this, I do agree with this. These cravings, and if you can find what your body really needs as opposed to just eating what you are craving, you will certainly be a lot better off. You benefit health-wise. Michael Shanklin and the Global Secession Movement. And my Flash plugin has crashed. Okay, it's good to know. This was the video that I was just on was an Adam Kokesh interview, and this is Michael's YouTube channel, Voluntary Virtues Zero Com. And he's a very interesting person, how a free society could operate. And we need these kind of new ideas. People accuse liberty advocates of being, wild-eyed people wearing a patriot label, trying to pick fights with the feds, and trying to destroy our way of life. Well, what we really want is something better. And sometimes I think we become obsessed with fighting the old, and of course that is something that does have to be done. But looking to the future for solutions, how we can live, when that becomes obvious enough and appealing enough, people will leave the old system in droves, because a lot of people are looking for a free society, a better way to live. Liberty and justice for all. It's really a cry. Freedom is a cry of the human heart. And history in some ways has been a constant struggle of people to be free. I think that's actually a lyric of an Eric Clapton song too. A constant struggle. My life has been a series of endless changes, a constant struggle to be free. And that's certainly not a bad driving force to have in life, but hopefully we'll see greater and greater manifestation of victory in that struggle. This is from the 10th Amendment Center, and the article is the Bundy Paradigm, and I'm not scrolling a whole lot today because something is really draining my system resources. So I'm just going to read this paragraph. What we're really faced with, and what we'll see more of before long, is a growing dissatisfaction with the government and its heavy-handed tactics by people who are tired of being used and abused and are ready to say enough is enough. And it won't matter what the issue is, whether it's a rancher standing his ground over grazing rights, a minister jailed for holding a Bible study in his own home, or a community outraged over police shootings of unarmed citizens. These are the building blocks of a political powder keg. Now all that remains is a spark, and it need not be a very big one, to set the whole powder keg aflame. But of course, this is, the main statement here is that violence is not even required, that there's that constant struggle to be free, and more people are joining in. And really, it's just a question of numbers. There are a lot more 99%ers than there are 1%ers. So it stands to reason that the voice of the 99% will be heard and responded to. For my good news of the day, this is above top secret, and this is actually a forum thread. I have a lot of caveats with this, but I thought I would put it in anyway. There is evidently a possible cure for Ebola. And I'll just read a little. Mostly patients are kept hydrated and symptoms are treated as they arise. And that's, when someone has a hemorrhagic fever. Other than that, doctors cross their fingers and hope that the patient doesn't die. That may be about to change in the journal Nature. Scientists who conducted much of their work in the secretive high-containment biological laboratory maintained by USAMRIID at Fort Detrick, Maryland, have reported the discovery of a small molecule that rescues rodents and monkeys from various hemorrhagic fevers. Even more, the drug exhibited activity against a wide range of viruses. I'm including this in good news, but, like I said, some caveats. One is, this is from a forum thread, and I have not been able to vet this information. Another caveat is probably obvious to all of you who are watching. If somebody has control of this drug, they can control the population. And how simple would it be? And we've had Ebola in the news a lot lately. You spark some kind of a plague, and then you have the cure. And in order for people to get the cure, they have to agree to whatever terms you're offering. So, as I said, I don't. This is kind of good news. But we'll have to watch this in the future and see if it develops into a new way to manipulate us and herd us into the tiny little corrals that they have for us. Thank you for tuning in for today's 99th Monkey Liberty News. As the Book of Psalms says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and enforce the Bill of Rights.